Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Preparing for Pregnancy After Loss podcast. This is your host, Natalie Facey. And can I just say what an honor and a privilege and an absolute treat it is for me to be able to connect with you in this way. There are listeners all over the world, different continents and countries and islands and just all over. And I get to connect with you where you are. And it feels like such a privilege. Yay for technology. Woo! All right. In this episode, I'm going to get into something that's been on my heart. And it's this idea that you might be waiting for your comeback. Are you waiting for your comeback? And let me give you an idea of what a comeback might be. I'll share a few examples. So if you've ever watched any movie or any series set in a high school, then there for sure is someone who is being made fun of because they're considered uncool, whatever uncool is in our culture. That's a whole other topic that we won't dive into today. But someone is being made fun of, or someone is dumped. Even the word dump, like, where do we get these words from in our culture? There's a relationship that ends. And, the next semester or after summer, the person who was made fun of, they come back looking super cool, and you might have images in your mind of what that looks like. Or the person who had the breakup, they come back getting another partner who is super cool. Whatever that looks like in our culture. So there's this idea that we keep seeing in the stories that we're told in the media, that if something negative happens to you, if someone makes fun of you, if someone disrespects you, if someone rejects you, if something negative happens, then you have a comeback, right? You come back looking better and shinier and being more popular and probably making more money and experiencing all versions of success. And I sense that something similar happens in the pregnancy journey, right? Because it's a part of our human experience. And so if we keep being told these stories that if something negative happens, you have to come back and show the world, or come back and show people who rejected you or never understood you, or come back and show people in your circle and in your life that you're now better than before, that you're now thriving, and that whatever perception you have about how they feel about you, you want to ensure that that perception changes. So let's pause there. Let's feel into that. And let's see if any of that is happening. I can definitely think of parts in my own story where some of that was happening, where it felt as though having a pregnancy loss and then an infant loss, it felt as though my life represented failure. And the perception that I was holding was that other people were also seeing my life as some version of failure. And because I didn't want to live with that idea of failure, right? Having a pregnancy loss isn't a failure. Let me just name that. I haven't failed as a woman or as a person because I've had a pregnancy loss. But there's so much in our culture that teaches us that that's what our bodies are meant to do. That's the purpose that we're here to serve. And so if we don't do the one thing, again, based on society's standards, if we don't do the one thing that we are supposed to know how to do, then that constitutes failure, right? And so I remember having that in my system, and I remember really wanting to uplevel my life to get out of that state of failure. And for me, it was buying a house or maybe advancing in my career. It was like, what are the external things that I can now get to show the world that I'm not failing, right? And I think too that sometimes what happens is actually, like we might not tune into the fact that we're trying to show the world a better version of ourselves, a different version of ourselves. Sometimes it feels like it's something that we're doing for ourselves, right? Like, I'm doing this because it would make my life better, more comfortable, because it would just be better for us as a couple or as a family. But if I were really to look below that at that time, then I would have seen that I wanted to overcome, I wanted to move above what felt like failure, right? Which for me at that time was getting a new house. If I get a new house, I am not failing. Clearly, I am making moves in my life. Clearly, I'm stepping up in life. And so I'd love for you to tune into that. If you're hearing the siren in the background, that's because I'm back in the city. Hello, city. Thank you for saying hi. I'd love for you to tune in and see what feels true for you in that. Which part of that feels like it resonates in having a loss and experiencing hurt, in experiencing the disappointment of not having the pregnancy journey that you thought you'd have, the parenting journey that you thought you'd have, and perhaps even having interactions with friends or family members that might have felt like rejection or them not understanding you, them not being able to hold space for you. That adds even more hurt to the experience. And usually the desire to come back, it is in these personal interactions, right? There might be someone at work who was also pregnant and their pregnancy journey seemed to have gone well, right? They're home with their babies, or there is some other experience that they had that you consider to be better than yours, right? Because they might have ended up with their child at home and you didn't. And so this comeback is wanting to show the world, hey, you were wrong about me. I'm not broken. You were wrong about me. I'm not a failure. Look at all the ways that I am going to show you that I can shine. There are different ways that we might go about having our comeback. One might be working really hard to get pregnant again, working really hard to have another baby. It might be getting an advanced degree. So if you, whatever level of education or formal education that you have right now, trying to get to the next level of that. Might be getting a new house, a new car, might be getting a new man, a new partner, might be getting a makeover, some physical makeover in some form. It might be making more money. There are all these ways that we might look to show the world that we're not failures, that we're better than whatever perception or image that they have of us. And what I want to name is that these are all external representations of success. They're all things that we have been taught in society that represent success. And we know that they're external representations, or there's a clue that we have into the fact that these are external representations because it's really important for someone else to see it. Right? If it was just something that you were doing for yourself, then that feels a little separate. But if it's feeling really important for the person who either has hurt you or judged you or has rejected you or hasn't been able to hold space for you, or the person who you perceive as having the life that you want to have, if it's really important for them to see you quote unquote elevated, that means that it is an external representation of success. And it also means that your desire, like the comeback, is really being driven by a desire to shift their perception of you. And that becomes complicated in so many ways. In so many ways. And a part of that is people can say anything that they want about you or hold any opinion about you, and there is so little control that you have. There is so little say that you have in the matter. And what I've been learning in my own experience is that people's perceptions are really formed based on where they are in their own healing and their own journey. So if there's someone who wants you to believe that you are less than because you had a pregnancy loss or infant loss or challenges around fertility, then those are issues that they need to work through themselves, right? If someone is using, and oh crap, the someone might be a family member. It might be a close family member, someone who is dear to you, right? But they might be causing you to feel less than or unworthy because of some external thing that is happening in your life or in your body. Having a baby is not a marker of success or a marker of worthiness. It's not. It's beautiful, but it does not constitute success and it does not constitute worthiness. And so if someone in your life is playing some game, like guilting you into it or using emotional manipulation or withholding love or casting judgment on you, if someone in your life is trying to make you feel like crap based on the fact that there are challenges going on in your pregnancy journey, then that's an indication that they need to do their inner work. Not your work, their work. No, let's talk about your work. We often play into these stories that we're being told, right? If I honestly can't, well, yeah, I watched a movie the other day. I was about to say that I honestly can't tell the last time that I have seen a movie because I'm usually just analyzing the crap out of everything and criticizing everything. And firstly, if there's someone sitting with me watching a movie, they'll probably have a terrible time. And secondly, I am probably also having a terrible time because of the sense of betrayal and the outrage looking at all of the really messed up messaging that we get in movies. And so if I get like a really highly recommended movie, then I might check it out. But if it's just your regular thing, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't. I did see something the other day, and it's an older movie. I saw it for a specific reason, and it wasn't bad. No complaints. It was actually great. And I paid for it too. But I went on that entire tangent to say that in our media, there are some messed up messages that we're getting. There are such messed up messaging that we're getting about being less than, even about what represents beauty, what represents success. And we have been fed with these messaging for years, right? Before we had the capacity to really analyze something, while we were children, and just like soaking everything in so that we could learn how to navigate this new world that we're in, right? That's how long we've been getting those messages, and they go on for years and years and years. So of course, if we keep hearing a story over and over again, or if we keep seeing a certain storyline being played out, like, oh, you quote unquote failed at a thing, someone made fun of you, someone didn't understand you, someone doesn't think that you are good enough, show them who you are, right? Go and work on whatever it is, like trying out for the basketball team, or getting your hair done, or getting a new partner. Like, go and change something about yourself or about your life. Go and achieve something and then throw it in their faces so they see how good you are. And what that does is there's almost this it's sort of two things happening at once. There's like a point where your life stops because you become hyper focused on achieving the external measures of success, right? It's almost like you go into your secret lab. You go into some closed container, into some tunnel where that is the thing that you're working on, and you will not stop until you achieve that thing. And so it's as though your life stops because you stop focusing on you, the whole of you, on all of you, and just focus on that one thing. And at the same time, because you're focused on that thing, you're just driving all of your energy towards it. Right? And in that space, or that process of your life essentially stopping, even though, there's a part of you that feels as though you're advancing and working really hard towards something, but there is a pause in all of who you are. And the reason why there's a pause is because until you achieve those external measures of success, there is this feeling inside of yourself that you're not able to face the world yet, right? Until you achieve the thing that you've told yourself that you need to achieve in order to get acceptance or love or whatever, you basically pull away from those people and pull away from the rest of your life. And so, yeah, in some sense, you've stopped your life until that other thing that you're working on emerges. And why should you stop your life? Why should going through something that you consider to be failure, even though it's not, but why should you stop your life so that you have to work hard and sort of pull yourself away and not feel like you are able to re-emerge, not feel as though you're worthy to re-emerge, not feel as though you're worthy of being seen until you've achieved those external markers of success? And so, going back to the pregnancy example, it means that there is so much pressure that you might put yourself under because the stakes are so high. Obviously, any pregnancy journey after loss, or any pregnancy journey after fertility challenges, there's a lot of pressure already there. There is the fear that you might experience that kind of hurt all over again, right? So that in itself is difficult. But there's also this fear of embarrassment, right? This fear that something might go wrong again, and then people might make fun of you. People might consider you to be even a greater failure. Like, there's that messaging that's there. And this is what I want you to know. I want you to know that you are already worthy. There is nothing that you have to do. There is nothing that you have to achieve. There is no other person that you have to be. You were born worthy. And having a pregnancy loss and infant loss, going through challenges around fertility or your health, none of those things take away from your worth. And so in working hard or basically hustling desperately to show the world or to show someone else that you are worthy of their time, of their love, of their attention, of their grace. No, that is not your job. Your job, what you can do for yourself, is to keep coming home to yourself. There is no comeback that's needed, but coming back home to yourself. Because when you come back home to yourself, you can always find love. You can always find acceptance. You can always find care. And when you find that within yourself, regardless of the things that you're doing, like if you're doing amazing things in your work, in your home, in your community, like yes, if those things inspire you, then yes. But if you're doing those things because you want someone else to give you the stamp of approval, the stamp of acceptance, I would say no. When you're able to find that within yourself, then you teach the world to connect with you with that care. You teach others around you to meet you with that care and with that love, and you attract people and communities who are able to connect with you in that way. You're already worthy. So if you're working hard to show your worth, if you're working hard to come back, if you feel as though you have to hide in your lab or your cave or whatever in order to show that you are good enough, then no, you're already good enough. There's nothing that you ever had to do. And if this feeling is there, like, no, I'm broken because this happened, then that's where healing comes in. That's where your inner healing comes in. And what I found is that even when we achieve the external markers, even when we have the letters behind our names or the advanced degree or the new car or whatever, even when we have those things, there's still this sense of unworthiness and there's still this sense of brokenness. And that's because it's inner healing that needs to happen. It's you coming back home to yourself. It's you being able to rest in your bed at the end of the day and feel peace in your heart. It's you being able to look at yourself in the mirror and see your strength, see your courage, see the journey that has brought you here, and feel love for yourself. It's you being able to say kind things to yourself and actually mean it. It's you being able to meet yourself with compassion over and over again. That's the coming back home to yourself. That's the coming back home to who you are. And that's the thing, when that solid foundation is there, there is nothing that anyone can tell you that causes you to question your worth. There's nothing that anyone can force you into doing or manipulate you into doing that causes you to feel less than, because right away you see that that is their inner work. That's something that they need to work through, and it's not your job. It's not a part of your labor. Like, your job is you, your care, your compassion, your love, your sense of self, your sense of worth. And I hope you know that you are already worthy. I hope you know that you don't have to be working hard or hustling for any comeback. I hope you know that after going through something painful, you're worthy of your healing. You don't have to go through the additional work of trying to prove that you are worthy, because you already are. Yeah, I'm going to pause here for now. This is my prayer for you, that you know that you are worthy. This is my prayer for you, that you know that you don't have to work hard to prove anything to anyone. This is my prayer for you, that you find peace in your body, in your soul, in your spirit. It is my prayer for you that you can look at yourself in the mirror and see your beauty, your inner beauty, your outer beauty. Ashe. Ooh, thank you for listening to this episode. Thank you for sitting with me as I share what's been on my heart. And I hope that you are really feeling into your worthiness. I hope that you are really feeling into the fact that you don't have to do anything, that you are already worthy. I hope you know that you're worthy of your healing. And whatever that looks like for you in this moment, I encourage you to explore that. If your healing means spending more time in nature, if it means taking a break from work, if it means reaching out to practitioners and getting support and guidance in your healing, if it means meditation or breath work and movement, whatever it means, I hope you know that you're worthy of that. Because your inner healing is the gift that absolutely keeps on giving. Like you being able to feel strong within yourself and not question your worth and see through other people's BS, like, yeah. Yeah. You are worthy of that. You are worthy of your healing. And so I'm sending you love. If it is that it feels right for you to explore working with me, then I absolutely welcome that. You can reach out to me at hello@nataliefacey.com. In previous episodes, I mentioned that the rebirth community is going to be a space where the healing can happen in groups. The healing can happen with other women and femme identifying folks who are on this journey as well of their inner healing, and we'll be focusing on healing through different categories: healing with respect to the body, healing with respect to relationships, healing with respect to communication and owning your voice and understanding your emotions. And so we're going to go deep. And if any of that resonates with you, then go to my website at nataliefacey.com/community to learn more about the rebirth community and healing journey. And if it is that one-to-one sessions are your jam, if that's what you're feeling into, if that's what your desire is for now, then absolutely reach out and we can chat about one-to-one sessions and the benefits of getting support in your inner healing as you're exploring whatever your next steps are, whether it is your next pregnancy or feeling whole, like really connecting with your sense of wholeness in your body. There's also the opportunity to have a complimentary clarity call, and you'll find that on my website as well or in the show notes. And so know that support is here for you. Know that when you're ready, you can reach out for the support that you need. All right, beloved, thank you for spending these few minutes with me. I am wishing you a wonderful rest of day where you feel rooted into your sense of worth, where you don't have to prove anything to anyone because you are already worthy. Sending love, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.